Okay, hey everyone, welcome to 2006. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of terminology from Front of Lies, like just things that everybody should really know. Because when people go into games, they look at them and go, the heck does this mean? I'm so confused. So this video is to alleviate some of that confusion. So let's start. BD equals Blue Dragon, which is the good faction. If you play Town of Salem, that would be the Town faction, equate to in this game. The Unseen are the Unseen, the purpley bad faction. They're one of two bad factions that could spawn in your game. They work around conversion and stabbing people. Basically, they have more killing tech, whereas the Cult have more converting and using abilities to bamboozle people. That's sort of like the difference between the two factions. The major difference is Unseen can only have 3 members at a time, whereas Cult can have 4. So, Cult means the Cult, yep. If somebody's immune to something, it means they couldn't be killed by normal means, which means they have an ability or a trait which means they cannot be killed. This could equate to something like the Priest, who cannot be killed only once per game, or a character who just simply is immune to everything, like, shall we say, an alchemist using their potion. So yeah, ability immune is something completely different. That means that they're immune to the ability that was done on them. Like if a butler tries to use their wine rollblock on a prince, it will say they decline their wine, but it will also do the same for other rolls that cannot be rollblocked. There's a full list in the works as to who can be rollblocked by things, but I'll get back to you on that. Now, the CW means the role Court Wizard, which is the wizardy role who can stop people from being converted, or put an ice ward, meaning they can't be affected. MM equals Mastermind, that's the boss of the Unseen. He is the one who converts people, so if you take him out after day 2, as of the time of this recording, then he's dead for good. But an assassin can become a mastermind, so keep an eye out for that. CL is Cult Leader. Cult Leaders will transfer from the cultists. When the Cult Leader dies, the cultists become the Cult Leader, so that's how that works. Phys equals Physician. Now there was some confusion about this, so I put here not Psychic, because some people thought that Phys meant Psychic at some point, so I thought this was worthy of getting in the video. So if somebody says Phys, it means the Physician role, the one who heals, not the Psychic. The Psychic will usually be referred to as the Psychic. Nobody ever calls it Psych or anything, they just call it Psychic. No shortened term. Journal is the book you can keep notes in that will be revealed when you die. Something I thought would be prone to mention is that it's often referred to as a will because of Town of Salem. So if someone says post-will, they mean your journal, all that jazz. A Reaper check, yes. Reaper checks are specifically to determine if a certain neutral role is in the game called the Reaper, which has an ability where if it attacks somebody, their body will stay there for a day, saying nothing. So basically people came with this idea that if you all press F, you can determine that if somebody doesn't press F, whether there's a Reaper in the game. It's an investigative meta tactic. So that's what people mean when they say Reaper check. So if you don't press F, people will assume either you're AFK or you've been reaped. So that's something you can actually abuse quite easily. But yeah, invested is a way of saying investigated, like a player's check for another player's alignment. It's not getting invested in somebody, it's investigating. Exy is short for execute, so if somebody says exy him, they want you to vote guilty on them on the stand. Fairly simple. If somebody's converted, a player has been forced to switch factions due to another's ability. So if somebody says that a convertible role has been converted, then that's what they mean. They mean they've turned evil. However, yeah, there are certain roles that cannot be converted. Therefore, always watch out for that. Royal Blood. Yeah, Royal Blood is specific to royalty and the drunk, who I assume is the drunk uncle. If somebody says somebody has Royal Blood, that means that they're stuck on a selection of roles, or they've been converted but they still retain that royal blood. There are some roles with royal blood that cannot be converted, So if you have royal blood and you claim being a prince, since the king cannot be jailed, that will help you a lot if you, say, are converted drunk or something. Because, you know, if the prince comes out and says, wait, I'm prince, then you've got him there to be stabbed by the unseen later. It's just a... You can abuse the whole concept of royal blood, but if somebody says royal blood, that's what they mean. They mean the royalty, which is king, prince, princess, drunk, noble as well. Noble has royal blood. So that's what that means. Outed. Yeah, if you out somebody, that means you reveal their role to the entire group. If you reveal somebody's role to the entire group, they are either in danger of being converted or being attacked. So if you out someone, that's what people mean. You've just basically told everybody this is who this person is. And people don't take kindly to outing certain roles. Like if you out the prince, that's not good, etc, etc. If you out someone like the priest and he gets immediately converted, yep, that's what people mean. Okay, claim/claiming is giving your role to others while under suspicion or understand. Yeah, if you claim a role, that's it's used to alleviate suspicion if people think you're bad, or to get rid of people who want to kill you when you're a BD and you need to live. So doing that is okay. Right, killer, offensive, social support, and special investigative. Those are the princess's flirt ability keywords. Basically, if someone says that, they've investigated them as a princess. And these... Killer offensive is related to a lot of roles that are BD oriented. Social and support are generally all BD unless they convert a role. Special investigative generally means the stuff like sheriff or I think, would princess fall under this? Yeah, I think they would. So generally that's good. That's good if they haven't converted. This one is difficult. I'm not too sure on these because I haven't seen the full list, but that's generally how I feel of it. Okay, so the troll box. Oh dear. So if somebody says somebody's been troll boxed, fooled, or fool boxed, which is an amalgamation of the two, it implies that a player has been forced to say something against their will and knowledge. Fool box, as of this... troll box, as of this moment, cannot be seen by the player who's been forced to say it. So if somebody starts going crazy saying you said something that you didn't say, then you can easily say, oh, I've been troll boxed. But you can't just say, I've been troll boxed after saying something yourself anymore. You have to be like, oh, that's not what happened. There can only be hippie. Okay, unique role. Yeah, if something's unique, if you look on the role list on the top left-hand corner of your screen on Throne of Lies, you'll be able to see things with a shield next to their names are unique roles. That means there can only be one of this role in the game at the time. Most roles, there can only ever be one, unless brought back by a priest, except for Mastermind and Cult Leader, where there can only be one alive at a time. Mastermind can be revived from an assassin becoming the Mastermind after the Mastermind dies on the first 2 days, but after that, that doesn't work, as of the time of this video. Thought to mention this, if somebody says Jailer, they are referring to the Prince. Jailer is a direct reference to Town of Salem, where the Prince role will fulfill practically the exact same function as the Jailer role. Finally, poison and bleeding. If a player has become a victim of an assassin or a hunter and requires healing from a physician to continue living. Basically, if somebody says poison, they're asking for a physician to heal them. Now, it's up to the discretion of the physician whether they're worth being healed or not, but it can be used for trickery. But something specific I need to mention is that butlers who are Blue Dragon can use poison, but only on the king. So if the king claims to be poisoned, it can be that the king has fallen under suspicion of the butler. So you should always, as a physician, use your discretion on whether you think the king's good or not to do that. Okay, I think that's a general idea of all the terminology I've got here. So thank you for watching, guys, and I hope this helped you out. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.